Hey, it's JT from the future. I am editing this episode right now. We just got a slightly longer version of our intro theme from the guy who did our music, so I'm going to slap that at the end, and you can get a little taste of what's to come. It's not the full version yet. It's kind of just it's an alpha version, but still, we hope you enjoy it, so stick around till the end to hear the extended, but not fully extended version of our intro music. Back to the show.
So, JT, how does it feel to have two children, both a newborn baby and this podcast, which is now officially 50 motherfucking episodes old?
That's insane.
That's wild.
That's
I mean, it's a huge milestone that we've reached, boys. It's 1/100th of the way to 5,000 episodes, which is
Which for some reason is the target. Absolutely. And episode 5,000, we're like, go fuck yourself to the other two guys, and we just fucking stop this thing.
Jesus Christ. I don't know. 5,000 episodes actually seems more like a nightmare. Because, wait, 50 took us almost a year. 5,000 we're not fucking reaching.
Yeah, we would be like 70 in the post-nuclear war, like talking in a bunker to like the 3 listeners that are alive somewhere across whatever continent we're on.
Oh my god.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh fuck.
Hopefully your daughter is one of them. She's like our last listener, surviving the post-apocalyptic wastes.
Oh my god.
Like, daughter, can you hear me? The water is about to flood your area. Yeah.
We're not even gonna have a proper microphone. We're gonna have, you know, when you have those like plastic cans, not plastic cans, excuse me, tin cans that you saw in half, and you have a string from the bottom. And we're just talking to one of those.
But as for the other child, all is going well. She's beautiful, perfect little angel. She also screams a lot. Not getting a ton of sleep at the moment, but that was, that's what we signed up for. She's very, very sweet, and it's changed a lot of things for me. Like, people always say, oh, your life's going to change in an instant, and it does, but it's like, it doesn't make you a different person. It just shifts like your understanding of time and stuff. Like, I've been living not in days, but in like snatches of hours. Like, we have to get her up every 3 hours to feed and stuff. So it's very strange. I've been living in a 6-day long now stretch of 3-hour snatches. It's very interesting.
The parent limbo. Welcome.
Oh, thank you.
And it's going to be absolutely worth it, as we previously stated.
Yeah, I'm excited.
How long was the, what do you even call that? The birthing? The labor. Labor. Fucking call me. He's calling everything labor. Yeah. So if you're is there a labor union for like women who give birth?
Oh my god.
The birthing mother is entitled to all she produces.
No, it's literally just called the labor union. The labor union, because she goes into labor. Oh, sorry. Yes. How's the birthing process? The hospital, were they nice? Oh yeah. How bankrupt are you going to get from literally having a child?
Yeah, rip me. Luckily, we have pretty good insurance, so we're not going to lose the roof over our heads, at least. Just an arm. But
did they charge the skin to skin fee?
No, we didn't go to. We weren't at a hospital, actually. We were at a birth center.
I see. I see. Yeah,
so they didn't charge us for the single plastic cup and all that stuff, and the Band-Aid. Yeah, it's wild to me that they charge for skin to skin. But it was a good experience. It was like a homey atmosphere, like a nice big room, giant bed. It was decorated like a house, not like a medical place. But they've got all the equipment and stuff. It's just kind of hidden from view. So in case they need it, they've got it there.
That's very cool.
So it was really good. We got to go ahead.
I was gonna say, did the lady get the epidural?
No, she did not. She opted to go without it.
Trooper.
Yeah,
Gangsta,
she's a champ.
Absolute trooper.
Gangsta.
Yeah, she had to get a couple shots of Pitocin afterwards for the bleeding, of course. But other than that, no injections or anything.
Wait. But did you do the American thing where you're like with her while she's in labor?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, that's kind of romantic. That's kind of nice, but I would never fucking do that. Like, I am all the way on the other fucking end of the fucking hallway. Thank you very much.
It's not as bad as you think. Like, I'm very squeamish. Like, when I spent a little time in the hospital when I was traveling, and I had to get an IV drip. and it did the thing where the blood kind of goes back up the tube, and I was like,
Oh,
no. Oh, that was terrible. But like at the birth, it was fine.
Meanwhile, I've got an afterbirth on me. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was good though. We got there at I think 3:00. Yeah, 3:00 up to the birth center or the room, and we had a little baby by 5:41. So it was under 3 hours of active labor, which was very short.
It's great.
Yeah.
I think I was born around that time as well. Huh. Now, and do you know what her sign is for the 3% insane listeners that actually care about this?
She's the astrologist. No, I have no idea.
Okay,
I
very
can tell you
healthy,
she was a
normal
baby
family.
and she was 9 pounds. That's all I can give you. And I'm sure the stars are exactly the same as when every other baby is born.
One day when she has like grandchildren, one of them will buy them that image of what the sky looked like exactly on the day when you were born. Pro tip: if you need to buy something to your parents that's kind of cute and you have no idea what the fuck to buy that thing. There's like 7,000 websites that do it. My mother almost fucking cried how much she loved it. She's probably even listening, so shit, now I'm ruining it. No, Mom, I knew what to buy you. I planned it with weeks. I designed it myself. Went back through time and took a fucking photo. But nah, that is beautiful, my friend. Congratulations.
Thank you, boys. Thank you.
One more time, me and Hakim, I think I can speak in both of our names, shall do our best to be like a yin and yang couple of cool uncles, right?
Yeah, boy, that's for sure.
Gopnik's gonna sneak the vodka into the bottle.
And Hakim's going to take it away, and it's always going to be like a thing.
Constant
It's like
struggle.
a sitcom.
Absolutely. No, Hakim helps her pass all her exams. I get her a fake ID.
Boy.
A person needs to have both of those if they want to become, a full person. And
That's right.
Not just a nerd or just a fucking whatever party head. You need both. You need both.
I'm just imagining that maybe God knows in several years or even decades from now, your lovely daughter will be listening in on some of these episodes. She's like, "Who are these two fucking weirdos that you would chat
freaks,
with?"
yeah.
Oh my god. Why is one in prison and the other one dead?
But who is who?
We'll see. We'll find out. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Deprogram. This is a very special episode for us today because it is our 50th episode. Somehow we've managed to make it this far. We apologize for the low level of energy because all of us are either just coming out of having a child or work shit. So we're all fucking exhausted. Oh, man. So, there will be a bit maybe lower energy, but who knows? We tend to laugh regardless. Before I'm going to actually get into the content of this episode, one of the things we want to stick in the intro, but I completely skipped my mind, was a note in our Google Doc, which just states mango balls, which I wrote several days ago, and I completely fucking forgot. I love that JT just put, I'm so intrigued by this next to it. All right, so the other day, it was very late, very, very late, and this old man who's like maybe 86, 87 years old comes. This is a patient, by the way. This is not just some guy on the street.
An old man coming into my home. It's party time. I mean, I'm not judging you. You do you, whatever you like.
Yeah, exactly. So an 86-year-old man comes in the middle of the night to and he just pulls his balls out. And he basically, his issue is like, oh, my balls are swollen. So I'm like, all right, cool.
Based.
You've
come to the right man.
I love how he did the fucking Dugan
You want me to
based
train your balls? Like literally a porno.
Oh, dude, he was a good-looking old man, though. Anyways,
God.
I'm like, all right, I need to take a look at your balls, and I pull his pants down. And this guy, again, I've said this before, like the biggest fucking balls. He did have the biggest balls I've seen thus far, but I will add a qualifier. I'll add a qualifier before I describe it. Normally, when I talk about big balls, I mean naturally big balls. There's nothing wrong with them, right? This guy had an actual, like, a problem. That's why they're so swollen. So I will not I won't count him as the biggest balls that I've seen. So that space is still, held by the #1 champion. But this guy came in, and the reason I wrote mango balls is because the first thing I thought when I pulled his pants down was like, they're about roughly the size of mangoes.
Oh, God.
Both balls.
Brother.
And I was like,
no fucking way.
He had a
like
hydro seal.
They're basically as big as his butt cheeks then. Almost.
Not only. By the way, he came in. You can see the massive bulge in his pants, and I was like, "All right, what's going on here?"
He's gonna have fun today.
But yeah, so and the reason I thought mangoes is because not only were they mango sized, they were also mango shaped. You know how like exactly the mango shape. There's a bit of a curve at the back and all that. It literally felt the same way and looked the same way. But he has fluid buildup. That was the reason why it was so inflamed or swollen. We took care of it, so it's all right. But so. The joke on the subreddit, which is like average Hakeem patient, it's a guy with massive balls. Yes, it is right. So yeah, but that's actually a very nice little callback, because I haven't had ball patients in a while. Wow. Actually. By a while, I mean like maybe a week and a half, which is quite a little period for me. So
glad to hear you're getting back to your roots.
Exactly right. Yeah.
You need more balls at your work, and I need less dicks at mine. But not like beautiful penises, but of corporate fucking dogs that don't know where to shut the fuck up. But yeah. But those balls sound like extremely comfortable to like just lay on. Like his partner, you could snuggle up right on top of. No, it sounds very nice. Very win-win type.
The
of
one thing that I was
situation.
surprised was how forgiving the scrotal skin was. It didn't look like stretched out, which is very interesting. I mean, I guess it depends on how quickly the swelling develops, but I've never actually really thought about it. Huh.
Yeah, that is interesting.
He had a nice ball size. For an old dude with very swollen balls, he was not a bad ball size.
Man,
one of the nicer ones I've seen.
When he dies, he can pass that down to his family as a water skin.
Yeah, pretty much. Fucking hell. Oh,
fucking camping, like that little thing. That's what you mean? Oh, God. And then it's passed down to the next generation. This is your great-great-grandpa's ball sack.
Anyways, moving on.
Important stuff for this episode. Important stuff.
Yes. We're just gonna discuss loosely. This will be an episode more about the podcast, about us. It'll be more laid back, and of course about JT's new role as a father. I mean, he was a daddy before, but now he is a dad. If he becomes a reverend one day, then he'll fulfill all meanings.
Actually, I am ordained. Yes.
Are you? Oh yeah, you officiated a wedding before, haven't you?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Okay, so you are daddy, dad, and father.
Daddy,
nice.
father.
Anyways, I was gonna ask you with the child and everything. How are you feeling now? Please elucidate these matters for us without children.
Well, every night I'm like, I didn't think it was possible to feel this tired and like still be awake. But you have to be, so it's just something you do. During the day, it's not nearly as bad, like circadian rhythms and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, we're happy. I'm just glad that there are no medical complications, because that was what I was really worried about, was either for Kelsey or for the baby there'd be something wrong that we'd have to keep an eye on. But so far so good, which is very nice. And it's interesting. Like we had to go through all the paperwork to make sure the information was correct on it. So we were looking at the birth certificate, and it had all the information like, here's where JT was born, here's where Kelsey was born, here's when baby was born, and then it said like there are all the fields and stuff, and one of them was father of the child, and then there was my name, and I saw that and I was like, man, that's really surreal. That's very strange to me to see that, because I've never been a father. I've never thought of myself as taking that role. But it was cool. Definitely a change in perspective, a change in the challenges that I'm having to face and figure out like how best to spend my time and how to take care of Kelsey and Evie. But it's cool. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be quite an adventure.
It's wild. In the paperwork, did you have to write the race of the child? The U.S.
Yeah, no, isn't that a thing that you guys have to do in the U.S.? I think so.
Yeah, there are fields with like checkboxes.
Of course, dude, I was fucking around. Yeah. Of course there is. Oh, that was a shot in the dark.
It's weird the way they do it. It's weird the way they do it. I'm not entirely sure why. I'm sure somebody could tell us in the comments. But they have like I don't even know. There's like a box that says Hispanic/Latino and another box that's not Hispanic/Latino, which is very, very strange because there aren't many that are like that. It's just that one. So I don't know why they singled out the Hispanic crowd, but we've got a mystery on our hands. So viewers, please let me know why they've done that. I'm genuinely curious.
I hope you crossed in Pacific Islander for your child.
Yeah, I mean, technically we could do. Well, no, we couldn't. Kelsey could do African American, but that doesn't apply to Evie.
Yeah, fair enough. That is true, actually. I was gonna ask with the where it said the father's name.
Yeah.
Could you have written second thought? That's so stupid.
JT parentheses second thought.
Is she technically third thought at this point? I don't know. Oh yeah, tired joke.
I haven't heard that one before.
No joke. The number of times I almost signed myself as Yugopnik, wherever out in the city or in like official work emails, etc. It's like it's an instinct.
Yeah,
I genuinely stopped feeling silly about calling myself, hey, I'm Yugopnik, because that took years for me not to feel silly doing. It's wild. But what is wilder is that you want a car, right? You need to go through the paperwork, then you need to practice, then you need to do tests, etc. In the normal countries, you want a gun, you need to practice, you need to go through exercise, you need to do tests, etc. You get a gun. A living being, anybody can just fucking have. You just put a PP in a JJ and the motherfucker comes right out. Isn't that fucking incredible, right? Like, and there's no like tutorials. There's no like, we don't have like, when you go to, for example, high school and you're like in your 12th year, your senior year, or your junior year, maybe we should have like classes on taking care of babies, because there's so many fucking, like, the beautiful soul of a beautiful girl has landed in the lap of two beautiful parents, and she's very lucky. But there are so many horrible fucking parents out there. We need to systemize this somehow. Or am I in the wrong? I don't fucking know.
Well, Kelsey and I were thinking about that, actually. We were sitting and just trying to watch an episode of TV with Evie because she was napping. And we're like, what gives us the right to create that thing? Like, what are our qualifications here? But yeah, it's really weird. But talking about like what's it called? Practice and stuff. In high school, some high schools, they do have a class, like I think it's 2 weeks. You have to carry a baby doll around, basically, and prove you're not going to lose the baby for like a home economics class or something like that. I don't know if they still do it. They did it when I was in school. And most of the time, like, the kids just play football with the baby doll, so it doesn't. it's not good practice.
The weirdest thing is in med school they have like a little period, I guess, where it's a very it's like how a robot would go about caring for a child. That's how they teach you these things, right? And the way they teach you to like hold a kid and inspect the child and everything, do a physical examination on a child. Right, and then afterwards, I remember when they left us in the pediatrics ward, and there's like infants, and they're like, yeah, so start, like do a physical exam, and you're just there with a baby. And you're just like, all right, and this is some person's fucking kid. Just like some
I dropped
clueless, clueless fucking med student. So yeah, I don't know. There seems like they should think it better through, but no, there's never been any accidents or anything. No. But yeah, I remember one of the kids I inspected. Wouldn't shut the fuck up and just kept crying. I'm sorry. And I remember I was just like, and this is the thing, when it's not your child, so you don't have any love for it, so you're like, fuck,
you like, suck, dude. Like, it could be quiet.
Yeah. Like, I'm just trying to listen to your shitty little heart. Can you fucking stop? But, yeah.
Did you not do the 5 S's, Hakeem?
No, I did not do the fucking 5 S's. Fuck
what
you.
What are the 5 S's?
Oh my god. Oh Jesus.
Shushing, swaying, sucking, 2 others that I forget.
You suck your baby? What the fuck?
Oh my god.
You grab them by the head and suck on the back of their head. No,
really?
No, of course not.
Okay, I was like, okay, cultural differences.
No, it's for them.
In a lot of Eastern European fucking hospitals, they wrap them like in these.
Oh, swaddling. That's one of them.
Like so much. They wrap them up that their face looks like it's literally about to burst. But apparently, it's very healthy because the kid feels like it's still in the womb or whatever.
Yep, it's called swaddling. It keeps them, makes them feel safe and contained.
They look like very cute
And they also get cold very
little older ladies, you know. It's lovely.
But what was I gonna say as well? Have you had fun with the reflexes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, she does the cat thing where her arms like fly up.
Yeah. The startle reflex
Yeah,
and all that. Yeah. It's okay. All that's gonna go away soon, so have your fun.
Yeah.
And then after... you can't talk with it yet, but then afterwards, oh man. But yeah, I'm glad that everything went smoothly. I'm glad that she's nice and healthy. Likewise with your lovely lady, and I hope that everything that you want for your lovely daughter will come to pass.
Oh, shucks.
And
thanks, boys.
Yeah, no worries, Habibi. I was gonna ask you another thing. Yeah, what is the protocol in the U.S.? Is it literally like you just pick up the child and you go home? Is there paperwork? Do you have to shake somebody's hand? What the fuck happens?
You have to high five the doctor. So it's different for the hospital versus the birth center. For a hospital, you are required to stay 24 hours typically. And they do tests at 24 hours, like when the baby's born, and then again at 24 hours on both the baby and the mom before you're discharged. And you've got discharge paperwork that I think needs to be filled out. Ours was done digitally, kind of beforehand, so there wasn't actually anything we needed to do after Evie was born. But for the birth center, they only require you to stay 4 hours. Provided everything goes well. So once Kelsey was feeling good and Evie was all checked out and stuff, and they had noted down her weight and stuff, we were free to go. So we just got up and drove home. Yeah, it feels like, I don't know, you're forgetting something like, okay, we just leave now, or we're done? You're not going to send a nurse with us or anything?
You're really giving us this thing?
Yeah.
Are you sure this one's mine? Like you didn't mix it up with another baby? That to me is extremely fucking terrifying. Like the lady or the guy who has the job to make sure that every baby in the whatever spot they keep them at for a while after
the
birth.
Baby pit.
Yeah, the baby pit has the right name tag on the right baby. Because imagine oh my god, that job must not be easy.
Yeah, luckily at the birth center, it's just like we never left the room and Evie never left the room. So it's like, all right, this one's definitely ours.
This one's mine.
Well, I guess we can move on from one baby to another baby, which is almost a single year old now, which is this podcast.
Yay!
Whoa!
Worst decision of my fucking life, man. Oh God!
Oh my God! No, I was just gonna say it's been an interesting little journey. It still isn't a year just yet. I think November 18th or something is a year, right? Somewhere around there.
Yeah, very close. Like because we recorded and then we sat on it for a while. Like we did a lot of prep before we actually put the first episode out. 2 more episodes, I think, is a year.
I think it might be slightly more. I think 3 or 4
is
actually.
It? Oh, okay. Well, I'm just thinking the 52 weeks in a year.
Oh yeah. No, your big brain. I was thinking more specifically on the date. Actually, yeah, you might be right in that case. But I was gonna say, how about you walk us through the thought process, because it was the lovely JT, the lovely second thought.
That's me.
that brought us together for this sort of thing.
Yeah, the second thought on the so original.
Okay. If I hear one more second thought joke in this podcast, I'm shutting it down.
Are you having second thoughts about having organized this podcast?
I'm leaving.
I love that, in the subreddit, everybody's like, oh, thoughts on XYZ, because the thing is like, oh, who's the first thought?
Oh my God.
Oh, it's so stupid. I'm sorry. Yeah, but walk us through your thought. Walk us through your thought process. No pun intended.
Sure. So I had wanted to do a podcast for years. I mean, since podcasts were a thing. Like before I even had my YouTube channel, I was like, man, it'd be cool to do a podcast. Of course, like my initial thoughts for doing a podcast were terrible. Like every other white guy is like, hey, I just want to have conversations, man. I just want to talk to interesting people. So, but anyway, fast forward to whenever that was, 2016, I think, 17. I started my YouTube channel. Anyway, I kind of focused on the YouTube channel for a while because it was taking up all my time. But then come last year, I revisited the idea of a podcast because I really did want to do it. And I figured that could be
the white guy in you was really like, I need to have a fucking podcast.
It's my birthright. Yeah, it's my biological drive to have a podcast.
Gott mit uns, Podcast mit uns. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, pod mit uns. I knew I I didn't want to do it alone because I am both boring and stupid. But I wanted to talk about, the stuff that I talk about in my YouTube videos, kind of longer form, more in depth, be able to have a back and forth with other people. So I was like, all right, I need some co-hosts who would be interested in this and who are really fun to talk to and have their own great personalities.
And then you contacted 5-6 people. They said no, and then you contacted
I was like,
us.
all right, who's left? I've got these 2 guys. All right, fine.
Because we are none of those
Which
things
losers?
you just mentioned.
Which loser's gonna get on this fucking thing?
But I had collabed with Ugopnik before, and I had talked about collaborating with Hakeem, and I really respected both of you guys. So I figured, you know what? What the heck? I'll ask. The worst they can say is Yankee go home. But luckily, you were both immediately interested, which I was surprised and thrilled about because we didn't know each other at the time. We had worked together a little bit or planned to.
You see why I like this guy, because he is so not conscious of the fact that how massive his platform is. That basically when you came to talk to me, it's as if fucking the CEO of CNBC called me up and he's like, yo, you want to do a show on our fucking public broadcast? It was a great honor, my friend.
Shucks.
It's but you're like, oh, these guys agreed, of course, man.
Yeah, it's weird. It's not something I really even think about, the subscriber count. It's it's a fun metric to watch, but it doesn't really indicate the health of your channel or the viewership you have or their dedication to your channel. The stuff that you guys put out is so good. I would put money on it that your audiences are more loyal to you than mine is to me. And part of that's because probably half of my subs came before I made the switch to political content. Everybody who's joined since is perfect, and I love you. But yeah, that was pretty much it. It was a fairly quick process. I was like, all right, here's the premise for the podcast. This sounds like fun. Here are 2 people that I think would be great hosts for it. I'm going to shoot him a text.
The reason what built this podcast to be, in my opinion, this high quality, oh my God, yes, I'm tapping my own back, is the fact that you brought together 2 individuals, and you yourself, from 3 different corners of the world, people with 3 different perspectives, yet all united through, obviously, Marxist thought. And when, you offered to do the podcast, I had no second thoughts, but then you mentioned that motherfucking Hakeem is gonna be there, and I literally the boner went into the post boner stage. Let's just say they were no longer as big as mangoes at that point. So it just clicked immediately for me, and I'm really glad I made the decision to do this with the 2 of you, because I think we're doing a very decent job, not only introducing but spreading extremely valuable class-conscious information to people from every corner of the world. I'm really glad that we have created this sort of platform, which is not just even though we are in JT's basement in Texas and we are white guys, but it's not just, 3 middle-aged white dudes talking about the political situation in a country while never having left Nebraska.
Yeah.
So all the ingredients were there to create the perfect little girls, but Professor Utonian added an extra ingredient to the concoction, which is our almost frat bro level of degenerate humor. And you got the Deprogram, and I'm really glad we added that spice, because I think it makes us grounded, it makes us more approachable, and it makes people want to listen, because they don't just want to be bombarded by fucking black-pilled shit all day long, right? So that's my 2 cents. What about you, Hakeem?
No, I completely agree. The way it worked out, the reason, by the way, that because me and Second Thought, we've spoken, I think, briefly before, just a few times before the podcast actually started, and I've always wanted to collab with JT, because his work was, I loved his videos, I loved the aesthetic of them particularly, and the way he presented was very professional. And afterwards, I was gonna go ahead with it, but then a friend of mine who's very close to my life, came. I was like, yeah, have you seen this channel called Second Thought? And I was like, fuck, fuck. I was like, all right. So then I shelled the idea, and I did, what's the word in English? Not dilly-daddled. Like, I kind of, like, JT would approach, and he'd be like, all right, so, and I'd be like, yeah, in a bit. I was just trying to, because I didn't know what the fuck to do, right? Yeah, and then afterwards I was like, yeah, fuck it, I don't care. I'm gonna start the podcast. It's too good of an idea to pass up. So I did. And hilariously, this particular friend who watches your videos almost religiously, never decided to actually check out the podcast.
Oh wow!
So he did, yeah. But then up until a couple of months ago. By the way, he came up then like several months afterwards. He was like, "There's these videos that have been recommended to me from this guy named Yugopnik." I was like, "Oh, his videos are really good too." I'm like, "All right, motherfucker. So you've seen his videos. He's like, no, you've never seen my shit and clicked on it. You, like, in a way, I was offended." But yeah, then eventually he found my shit, and then yeah, but
and were you revealed at that point, or was your identity like hidden enough that he couldn't tell?
No. He knew immediately.
Okay.
He heard it in my voice, and like that. My sense of humor is very similar in my videos and how I am in real life. And he just messaged me. He's like, "What the fuck is this?" And I was like, "Yeah." So yeah, but no, he was very chill about it, and we chatted and all that kind of stuff. He's like, "Oh, what are they like?" And I was like, "Yeah, they're pretty cool. They're cool.
They
dudes."
suck. I hate
He's
them.
like, "Oh." Well, yeah. And right before this, by the way, because I was I was thinking of a podcast as well. And I was making these things that I would do these. I was making these 1 hour like weekly things with Luna Oi, but our schedules could not be like aligned properly, so we only did like 3 or 4 of them. And around that same time, I also spoke with Yugopnik. I was thinking, it was like, well, it would be cool to have a podcast with Yugopnik. And in a weird way, all that coalesced when you approached us. I was like, holy shit,
everything fitting in its spot. The right.
Yeah, let's fucking go. So yeah, it all came to pass, thankfully. And I think from the first message until we got our first episode, it was just like 2 weeks or something. It went by very quickly.
Yeah, we blitzed it.
But then afterwards, yeah, we sat on the shit for like 2 months, 3 months almost, getting all the stuff done, the preparatory work. Which, by the way, like, amazing work from both of you dudes, because I didn't know fucking shit about this, but organizationally, from Second Thought side, and Yugopnik, how you've just fucking found everything that we need to figure out and just sorted it. It was amazing. Like, I remember, because all of us have said this at different points in our lives, but I'm very comfortable saying you're the best coworkers I've ever had.
No discussion about it. Absolutely.
So that's my thoughts about the podcast, and yeah, I haven't looked back. And what's even more, I think, commendable is that we haven't ever missed a recording or an episode or something. On occasion, it's 2 of us instead of 3 of us, but that makes sense when we're 3 different people in 3 different time zones. Which, by the way, just a side note. We get suggestions every once in a while. It's like, oh, you're an international podcast. Why don't you have somebody from fucking Japan? All right, where are the Peruvians on your? Like, I'm like, okay.
You want me a country from each fucking continent? You want to fucking organize that? Half of them are gonna fucking be recording at fucking 7 a.m. That's 3 a.m. motherfucker. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Not only this, but they don't know about the what's it called, the organization of getting these episodes off the ground has gone so complicated that Yugopnik's been like, fuck it, here's an Excel sheet, and now we have this stuff registered like weeks in advance,
color coded
on when, where we're gonna record,
like, invite
this
guy, dude. We have plans for like the next fucking 5 months. Calm your fucking tits. We'll get to it.
We're working on it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's actually, so yeah, if we could, we would, but it's fucking hard enough as it is. Another interesting, I guess, question that I want to open up to the floor is, how does it feel to be on an international, this very youthful, let's say, internationalist podcast? How about for you, JT, being in the US?
Yeah.
How does it feel?
Well, for me, the most important thing was always that
you wanted to run a podcast.
That's obviously the most important part. I felt it in my bones that I needed to be a podcast.
In your
skin. No, but to me, it's super valuable for my fellow Americans because like 100% of our news is U.S. centric, and we don't know a goddamn thing about the rest of the world. So just being able to hear the perspectives of people from somewhere besides the U.S. can be really eye-opening, and so I think that's very, valuable for the people who watch my channel, for example. Obviously, it's mostly Americans or English-speaking people like those darn Canadians, and I guess I can count the Australians if we concede that they exist. But
doubtful.
But that was it for me. Like that's why I think it's so cool what we're doing. It's because it's not just a couple dudes in Brooklyn. Respect to the Brooklyn podcasters, but we are from a very diverse background and have different life experiences and can speak to things from a different perspective.
Do you know what kind of fucking dream it would be if there was like somehow we can like snap our fingers and then there's just some office that us three show up and we record and then we go about our lives? Do you know how fucking
an office out of time and
that
space? Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Like we grab a meal afterwards and we just call it a fucking
slap.
like it would be a day, right? Fuck. But yeah, no, sadly not.
I mean, podcasters are the OG work from home crew. We invented work from home before work from home was even a thing. Together with, I don't know, fucking truck drivers because their truck is their home. But no, the privilege that we have to talk to such a large audience, which is still very fucking surprising and weird to me, and it is going to grow. As resident advertising guy, I insist it will grow. But just having this privilege to both platform your thoughts, but also thoughts of other people. Jesus, every time I say thought or second,
I'm waiting for it.
I am fucking losing my mind. Okay, why did you do this?
Would you say
to
the primary
me?
and secondary
I can't talk like
thoughts?
a human being anymore. Change your whole channel name in order to accommodate my sensibilities, please.
All right, channel is now Thank You Red Fash.
There we
I
go.
love it.
Beautiful
Love
beautiful work.
I'm pretty sure, like 99% sure, there is probably a channel called Thank
Probably.
You Red Fash. Like ironically, unironically ironic, meta ironic. But not just the ability to platform other people and platform our own thoughts and actually, scream in the desert of millions of political podcasts that are just regurgitating and reading off the fucking Guardian
Oh God, yeah.
front page. It feels very good. Yes, it is shouting in the middle of the desert, but thankfully there are other people in the desert that are listening and then sharing that information further on. Obviously, we're not the only left-leaning podcast. Other people are also in the desert shouting, but
But we're shouting with a boombox and like some clown costumes and maracas.
Vuvuzelas.
Yeah.
Which are relevant as well.
KGB grabbing you by the nuts and self-eating snakes and homoerotic love towards each other, which, by the way, was very spontaneous, but I think Hakeem kind of introduced it. I was like, this motherfucker, is he a creep or is this kind of hot? In like the first few episodes, like, the fuck is going on? And then people were like, oh man, I really like the fucking homoerotic shit. I'm like, what the fuck? And then, we kept with it, and it feels nice, to be talked
wholesome.
sweetly by such a handsome doctor and now daddy is pretty cool.
Positive masculinity. It's the best thing.
Yes.
And I guess it's a weird question, but who in your lives is who actually listens to anybody that that actually fucking listens to this garbage?
Kelsey listens. She hasn't in a while. She's been busy, but she likes it. She thinks you guys are hilarious.
Apologize profusely for forcing her ears to be subjected to our bullshit. My God.
No, it's fun. And then a good buddy of mine, a college friend, Michael, also listens to it. Shout out, Michael. Hey, buddy, you're bad at Smash.
Hey.
Like everyone that I hang out with knows what I do. Like I've got, for better or worse, my name is on everything I do on Second Thought, on the Deprogram, on my Twitter account. So if I disappear one day, that's why. But yeah, I've stopped trying to hide anything from people, and like people ask me, "Oh, what do you do?" And for the longest time, I'm like, "Oh, I make educational video content." And now I'm just like, I run the largest communist channel on YouTube.
You just put your balls on the table, Chad. Absolute fucking Chad.
Absolute Chad. With me, it's this Russian friend of mine, Daniil. Shout out, Daniil. he has a broken leg and he's staying at home for like 2 months because the doctor said it's sprained. He told him sit there for 4 weeks. Then after 4 weeks, he was like, oops, actually it's broken. Sit there for another 5 weeks.
Oh my God.
But
God.
not fun. So I guess he might have killed more time with the podcast. Hopefully we're helping fill out that 1 hour in the whole month that he needs to wait. One Kazakh friend of mine, obviously my lovely partner, girlfriend, I don't know what the proper way is to even fucking call it anymore, Maria, who's in the other room, probably annoyed that I'm taking up the whole fucking living room. Patrons keep donating so I can move to a bigger fucking place so you don't hear on the news woman kills podcaster over loud noise. And my mom, as I said, and my mom is so sweet about it. I fucking love that woman so much. She she's actually extremely politically progressive and stuff, and I'm very proud of her. And she gets a lot of the concepts that we talk about here. She's very open-minded, but she always when in a certain, she doesn't listen to every episode, but she always notices when I'm tired or I'm sick. I'm talking on the nose, as we like to say in my part of the world, or I'm or I talk about my degenerate lifestyle, which happens far less now, but still happens from time to time. And I immediately get a call afterwards or a write up on Messenger. Are you okay, honey? Don't drink so much, or oh my God, are you sick? It's very cute. I guess it's her way because we live in different cities.
Listen to your doctor, friend.
But Mom, I'm sorry for saying certain things here, but actually it probably makes the relationship even healthier because she knows about my that she spawned a piece of shit basically, so she can deal with it in a more healthy manner because I'm kind of indirectly talking to her through this microphone. So, and you, Hakim?
There's some family, but not nearly as many people as for you guys. I think there's of course the language barrier. That's kind of, but otherwise, a few friends, a lot of people who I know online who listen to this sort of stuff. Yeah, and a bunch of family. There's one particular family member that you guys know about. I won't, for the sake of I won't name it, but she is basically in love with you, Gotnik. So
that's so cute. I love it.
But yeah, she doesn't listen to any of the other. She's just like, look, if you Gotnik's on the fucking episode, I'm not listening. I'm like, all right, fine.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, so. No, it's perfectly fine. You are beautiful, so I don't blame her. But it's interesting. But also it's weird because there's some people who know and they care so little that it's just it's like, oh yeah, I have this thing. It's like, oh yeah, he has this thing. All right, go do your thing. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go do my thing. Right? Because I have a real fucking job. Otherwise,
you're a real person.
Like all the rest,
Slavs have a tendency.
All of us here
I don't know
have
if
real
they
jobs.
do in over in Iraq or in the US, but whenever you say you do something on the side or whatever, people are very direct with just asking you, can you make money out of that? It's a very
basically.
Can you make a decent living out of that? No matter what you say, oh, I like playing with Legos, but can you make money out of Legos? Everybody, it's wild. And then I have to go into a whole explanation thing. But just like JT is now openly stating what he is, I'm still in the previous phase he was in. I am. It sounds fancier actually. I say I write political analysis pieces anonymously online. That's why I'm so opinionated politically. But yeah, that's what I fucking say. But maybe it's gonna be healthier to just say I run a podcast. But then again, one of my best childhood friends actually recently came out to. Yes, guys, I'm telling you, I am gay. I'm kidding. I came out to as a podcaster. His reaction was not that good, actually.
Really?
He literally kind of indirectly said everybody's doing he literally reacted.
Well, that's fair,
He literally said, "Man, everybody's doing podcasts now." I was like, okay, what? But mine's kind of, doing well, it doesn't have 7 listeners.
Mine is.
But it was very awkward. I mean, I love the guy, but it was very weird.
I know one guy in my university who did the thing like JT said, again, the white guy drive. The guy wasn't white, obviously, but he had also in his bones, he was like, I want to make a fucking podcast. And him and a friend did it. And it was like, we just want to chat. We just want to talk about things. Right? And they made like 2 episodes on like movies, Marvel movies they watched, and then nobody fucking listened, and then they just gave up. And I'm like, yes, but also you need to have a bit more, what's the word, tenacity, I guess. You need to be more dedicated. But either way, I think, but it would have been probably garbage. Who wants to listen to people talk about fucking Marvel movies? But then again, who wants to listen to us talk about our bullshit? There is a point there.
Do not offend our audience.
No, of course. They're very highly intellectual. I was going to ask you something, you got me, fuck. What about, you had a friend who was some SoundCloud rapper, right?
Oh, yeah.
In our first episode, go.
And then sees our position in fucking SoundCloud, which we deleted right now, and how many reviews we have and how many listens we have. And it's like, he's been posting audio tracks for like years now. And then like us posting like episode 4 had more fucking listens than his entire unfortunate career. But c'est la vie.
Yeah, rip. It's tough. Oh, well. I had a friend who was trying to do the rap game for a while. I think he stopped now. Hey, Crispy, if you're listening. But he
Crispy Kreme.
Unfortunately, he went to the same school as Post Malone, so he just got to see the dramatically different trajectory of a fellow SoundCloud rapper.
I have nothing else to add about that. That was just it. And I don't feel, by the way, because it was mentioned in our notes, I don't feel like fucking Batman. I don't feel like, ooh, I'm living the secret double life. It's just like, it's like I have this fucking thing that I have to do after work. But it's so much fun with you guys that it feels like I'm relaxing afterwards. It is cathartic.
It is.
It gives you purpose. It's beautiful.
Here's another nice question, just so we can feel properly full of ourselves. What is it like being an online agitator, JT?
It's honestly, people. There are a lot of LARPy people out there who take it way too seriously, but honestly, it's pretty fun. Despite the stupid comments and the occasional death threat, it does feel good to be using my platform for something worthwhile, and it's always amazing to get emails or DMs from viewers or listeners who have changed their opinion thanks to our channels or the podcast. I personally think that the internet is a major front in the battle against global capitalism, as LARPy as that sounds, and we do need all the content creators we can get, because there's just a critical mass of chuds online like Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson and Candace Owens and all the rest, just
Kanye West
garbage. Kanye West, who's that? What do you say? DEFCON 3. Yeah,
I'm gonna go DEFCON 3 on the Jews. Like, woo!
That was so fun. The funny part to me was that he didn't know whether 5 was the highest or 1 was the highest. So I'm gonna say 3. But yeah, it's fun. Like I'm under no illusion that we're doing world-changing work. I mean, we're changing people's minds, which is very important. But it's also fun. Like it's important what we're doing, and it's a good time. Like I like hanging out with you guys. I like talking to people who have had their minds changed. It feels good to be doing something useful.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, there's different aspects of what I mentioned previously, purpose, that one contains in their soul, in my opinion, and searches for purpose in those different segments. One of them can be, call it whatever you want, the romantic field, or the search for a partner, establishing a family if that's your thing, or whatever. But whatever your definition is of feeling connection to another person or multiple people or whatever rocks your boat. Then you have professional purpose, thinking that you want to establish yourself financially, reach a point of stability. For people who are on that grind, I don't know, rise to the ranks or whatever fucking floats your boat. But then there is this and then other categories, obviously, but then there is this I like to call it like communal purpose, which unfortunately, because the way that the free market divides us and pits us against each other is very rarely satisfied. The need to, as you said, as LARPy as it sounds, but the need to leave the world a bit better off than how you found how you found it is embedded in us, unless you're an absolute piece of shit. And this podcast, in my case, and the main reason why I started the channel in general, is to pursue a path which can fulfill that aspect of my search for purpose. And it's been an absolute blast, because, as you said, every time I talk to people, I don't even need to talk to people. Every time I put something out and I see that more than 5 people actually watched it from beginning to end, feeling that privilege of being listened to, and not only being listened to like as if I'm like vlogging about taking my fucking dog out for a walk, but listened to about issues which are very present, very real, and hopefully helping not change their mind, but like helping them reach an ideological shift, no matter how small, towards better understanding their own situation in life, and giving whatever little wisdom I've read or experienced over to them. That, for example, to me is agitation. It is the fulfilling of personal purpose by helping also others find said purpose.
Very, very, very beautifully put. I was gonna say, just like I guess loosely connected to it, which is something what, like building on what Second Thought said. We said Second Thought so often right now that I'm fucking, it's in my mind now. But it's exactly that. The diversity of voices, the more that there are, the better. And in a way, also like what you company said, the community aspect. Everything that we've done individually and also with this podcast are just kind of like the first building blocks. I still don't think there really is an online radical left tendency. There's a bunch of isolated islands of people making some sort of content, but there's no there's no infrastructure for it. If you know what I mean. Unlike with right wing garbage, right? That took off immediately. The very moment that the internet even became a thing, they already started fucking populating the internet with their nonsense. But it took until YouTube for like the first germs to appear, and now even 15 years afterwards, there's still like a handful of creators, which is disappointing in a way, but also it's rewarding in the fact that there's a lot more that could be done and a lot more room for growth than we currently have. But and that's also kind of what's fun with the podcast. Also, it's nice to just have a fucking outlet to talk about these sort of things. I was gonna also say, there's this weird dichotomy also with the podcast, because there's so many things that we want to do with it. Not only like ideas for episodes, but I mean forms of episodes, different formats. Down the line, other projects entirely that kind of would spring out from this podcast. But of course, the rate limiting step here is time. All of us, of course, have our own schedules, our own work outside of the podcast. So even things like the really big episodes that we want to do, we don't have as much time as we want to do them, right? I remember the Yemen episode we did, which was wasn't that much research, right? It's just I just got a bunch of sources together to make a streamlined presentation. But that's still something that I can't do every day on account of my regular work shit. So that's why, nice segue, that's why support us on the fucking Patreon, because once we reach a particular point, I will try to reduce at least some of the work that I do in my professional life. I'll never stop being a physician, but it would be nice to work 80% or something. So I'm not fucking, grinding myself into the fucking dirt with this shit. But yeah, if that's the case, then that time would be instead filled in with the stuff to do for the podcast. And I think that goes likewise for Yugopnik as well, because Yugopnik also works a full-time job outside of this. So,
free our boys. Free them. I won't let them out of the basement, but you can free them from their other job.
Exactly right. Here's a more fun question, lighter question. What are your guys' favorite episodes? Which ones that we did that particularly stand out for you?
It's funny. I really like the episodes where only 2 of us are there. And I think that's probably because we aren't able to rely on the banter as heavily with just 2 people. So we actually have to put in a little bit of work. So The one that stood out to me as a good example of this was the Mad Lads episode you guys did. That one was amazing. It was so funny, and I would love to hear another one. I'll make sure to miss just so that I can hear you guys talk about it.
It's incredible how you mentioned that, because I am absolutely in love with the episode where I wasn't there, where you guys just fucking talked about weird American shit. I laughed my
that was fun.
absolute ass off, including, you know, some of the early ones where, for example, we criticize previous socialist experiments, where we introduce people to the basic concepts, the 101s, but through literally what you guys, I guess, inherited from the Britons, called banter, through humor, through jokes, through a lens that I haven't seen, or honestly, anybody else do, because everybody takes themselves so seriously. Look at me, I'm sitting in suit and quoting Mao with you know, but
professional podcaster.
But those, and then which other? I like the Sand News segments. I like the Yemen episode.
Fantastic.
I liked. I like all of them. They're it's like comparing apples to oranges. So many of our episodes just do a very different thing than the previous one, while at the same time, you know, running with the core, which is the Deprogram. So yeah, I'm basically avoiding the fucking question.
Well done. Well done, PR man.
Yeah, without any second thought.
Oh my God.
Fuck with me, I fuck with you, baby.
No, I completely get. You know, about the banter point, on one of the YouTube comments for the Conservapedia episode, some guy, what the fuck did he say? I have it down. He was like, there was way too much chuckling and laughing. This was a little hard to listen to. Fuck you. We're gonna have fun with
Don't
this.
Don't listen to this. There's so many podcasts where a guy sits is like, and then Martin Luther King was shot, and he fell on the ground, and there was death.
With the fucking
music
music and everything.
You don't want us to joke about Martin Luther King's balls while we're talking about that. What are you talking
about? Yeah. Like, the point of this is to keep it fucking lighthearted. There's enough, like, again, as you openly said, there's enough fucking doomer pill, black pill shit out there.
Have some fun.
Right? It's fun. If we're going to talk about fucking CIA black sites, we may as well, like, you know, chuckle a bit about it just to fucking have some fun, right? Yeah. But on that point, though, specifically, my favorite episodes, there's 3 of them. The first two are the series that we did, the Communism is No Food and Communism is No Toothbrush ones. I love those is because it's just me asking a question, and then it's both you guys being very, like, passionately irritated at the questions, as if I'm making the argument.
Almost passive aggressive levels, I remember. Yeah,
it was such a good one. That one and the Havana Syndrome one, specifically for the fucking intro that JT did.
What was the intro? Remind me.
It was the one where I said, I gave the announcement that I have Havana Syndrome, and you know, I had just gotten off my shift of bombing an orphanage, and I felt kind of icky.
Oh fuck, I love that one, and that's why it's fun, because every once in a while, I don't really rewatch my videos, for example. But the podcast, every once in a while, there's a few episodes that I'll go on a list if I have some downtime, right? If I'm making some food or if I have to travel somewhere. I'm just like, yeah, fuck it, why not? And always, it helps, like, you know, lift my spirits a bit and chuckle a bit. But otherwise, like you openly said, there's so many different ones. They all serve different functions. But I think the most quote-unquote professional ones that we do is when we have guests on. Yeah. And it's very, you know, like rigidly
structured,
planned, systemic. Yeah, question, answer. Aside from the ones that we did with Alan McLeod and these others where we just chat shit, which, by the way, we need to get him on again. Yeah, it's always so much fucking fun having him on. But yeah, what are the future plans? How about that? That's also a fun conversation.
Oh boy. Well, I would love at some point, and I may regret this when we actually do it, but I would love to do a live show at some point in Chattanooga, ideally. Yes. I think that would be so much fun. I think we could have a little merch booth. We could hang out and then meet people. We could I don't know, throw things at the crowd. What do you do at a show? Stuff like that.
Dude,
I think that'd be a blast.
I want to do a karaoke segment with a fucking crowd, with the crowd, where we do. I would imagine singing Mujahideen with a crowd of like 100 people. That would be so fucking fun.
I can
the cops would be there so quick.
I can already see the event. It's the two of them doing like goofy ass fucking shit, and me sitting like on the table on the stage, just holding my head like, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my life?
Dude.
But it would be awesome.
We'll have a dedicated ball checking station and everything. There's gonna be a little mannequin. I'm gonna show you exactly how you need to palpate your balls.
Hakeem will sign your sack. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I would gladly do it. I would gladly 2 or 3 sacks at the most. But after
They're gonna be they're limited edition sacks.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, that's definitely. I think the number one thing on my list as well is to do a live show thing. And maybe do several of them. Like, if the idea being is like we'd see if there's interest for it even in the first place. If it would be just one or several, but it would be neat because then it would give me an excuse to, number one, come to the US, and number two, actually go to different parts of the US to just like kind of do a bit of sightseeing.
Yeah.
But also do some. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Otherwise, yeah, there's a lot of guests that we'd like to have on. Right now, of course, we have the weird anxiety of it's like, you know, we're not quote unquote a professional quote unquote podcast, so we need to have, you know, more high profile guests, which would then attract other high profile guests. If you know what I mean, it's a weird fucking thing, but that's also a sort of thing that we're trying to get off the ground. There's a bunch of other stuff, but we'll keep it secret for now. Some ideas that we have to titillate you.
I am more modest, but I have a dream of or I have a dream. There you can joke about Martin Luther King, but but that was a gun sound. But you know how in every other different culture you have different sounds for meow, for bam bam, poof poof, guns as well is one of them. We say when it's an automatic. Okay, sorry. What the fuck was I even gonna say? Oh yeah, I'm more modest, but it's really a dream. I don't know if we can pull it off, but to somehow still keep the anonymity of everyone who wants to be anonymous, but have the podcast in video format as well.
Yeah.
I don't know, record arms or something. I don't know. We have to invent how we're gonna fucking do it or whatever.
Yeah,
but I think it would add even more charisma to this charisma-full mess we call a show.
Do you know what I should do? I would get a balaclava, but on the front part of it, I would print the picture of Lenin where it's red skin and he has the Iraqi hair, the yellow Iraqi hair, and I just stretch that over my face. I just stretch the balaclava so it's all Lenin distorted.
There you go.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
That would be very funny.
If there's a will, there's a way. I'd burn up, dude. I'd pass out in the middle of the fucking.
One more thing I'd like to do that came to mind. I would love to do on-location episodes. Like if we wanted to do a Cuba, like a deep dive into Cuba episode, if we could record that in Cuba, that would slap. Just to have more of a vibe.
You know, in a weird way, actually, I think we would even be able to secure some pretty interesting interviews.
Oh yeah, probably.
If that were the case. And if that's the case, then we'd include it. Then we could have like quote unquote deprogram documentaries because you're the resident camera guy. So we'd have that's not a bad idea.
I would love to do that. Yeah. I would love to do deprogram documentaries. Oh my god.
We there are some things we can get off the ground. It just depends on the scheduling. Yeah. Currently. And some visa stuff, but if there's a will, there's a way. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out on my end. No worries. So yeah, there's a lot planned. There's a lot coming for you guys. We're just getting started with all this, inshallah. And of course, but again, to state, we haven't even hit a year yet. So still very, very excited to see what the future holds. We're always very thankful for the great listenership that we have. Everybody's very lovely. And we really appreciate your support. We love the people on the subreddit who make all these fantastic memes. The people who set the, what's it called? Not the tiers. What's it called? The flares on the fucking, which are hilarious. I saw one guy, his flare was a Wisconsin state affiliated media or some shit. Like hilarious fucking.
They found us shit.
Yeah. And the of course the people on the Patreon.
Yes.
We couldn't ask for a better community on Patreon and on the Discord. Of course, and also the Habibi chat people that we talk with monthly. It's such a lovely community that we have, and it gave us a lot more purpose than any of the other YouTube stuff. At least I'll speak for myself.
It's like weirdly lovely.
Stuff I've made.
It's weirdly lovely because there's no creeps. There's
weirdly
no
wholesome.
pieces of shit.
Yeah, weirdly
I'm
wholesome.
like, what? Come on, somebody say something stupid. Somebody annoy me. No, everybody's like decent human beings. I'm like, what the fuck? Why is nobody being toxic?
Generally,
this is not what I'm used to, seeing around me.
Exactly right, and that's why I just feel very lucky to be part of that community and to be doing this thing with you guys, and hopefully we'll continue this into the future, and we'll bring you more fucking memes, more educational episodes, hopefully at least sometimes, at least 5% of the time, and more homoeroticism.
Absolutely.
Sweet content, baby.
And with all that said, this has been the Deprogram, episode 50. Much more will be coming. I'm Hakeem.
I'm JT.
And I'm Ugopnik. You better take care of that fucking baby or I will fucking cut off your legs and make you eat them.